the ultimate, whatever you got. Okay, so Kristin, take it away. Have fun. And if you've got your notepads and pens, and she's talking, I'd be writing down.
Thank you so much, Todd. Really appreciate it. So, like I said, I'm not going to follow this a whole lot because I've really thought about how a lot of people will say, well, Kristin, how do you do all that? You know, you coach a lot of Craig Proctor members. You own a brokerage, you have, a real estate team, you have a big virtual assistant business, you have all these Airbnbs, you have all these rental properties, you have an e-com business, you have investment company. Like, how do you do it? So, I do it because, just like what Tracy said, is I can count on wonderful, wonderful people to help me. My husband is amazing at what he does in our business. He has supported me, guys, through everything. He saw me I remember when I was claiming bankruptcy, and we were husband and wife, and he was gonna have to deal with this crazy lady that didn't know how to spend her money and really drove herself into the ground, and in this rough time. And he met me when I was waiting tables, not when I was successful or anything else. He did not meet me at all when I was dead broke. And I was going to claim bankruptcy, and he's like, I don't know, because he, managed his money really well, didn't have hardship, whatever. And I'm like, I just got to do it. Guys, I was paying $2,000 a month just in interest, okay? And I couldn't get out. Like, it just wasn't happening. I've never paid on a credit card. I've never paid an interest rate since, or I've paid it off every single month since. But I'm just telling you, a lot of us in here have gone through rough times, right? And so for me, making sure that my husband has been such an amazing support. When I gained 150 pounds from the time I met him, okay, lost 97 pounds in the last 2 years. But I went from 150 pounds heavier, and never once did he tell me I was fat. He never did, guys. He has always supported every part of me, my hardships, my downs, my outs, along my craziness of wanting to do all these businesses, my craziness of just turning around, and he's like, oh my God, what now? What does she want to do now? But he is the real word of supporting, wonderful husband that has stood behind me through every single thing in my life. Thank you. I told him 5 years ago, I said, you go get your because he's a lot smarter than I am. So I said, can you go get your broker's license? He goes, Kristin, why? And I said, because I know one day we're not going to want to work for another brokerage because they're going to tell us what to do. And they're going to hold us back on being able to run our own business. He's like, okay, gosh. Of course, he goes in, takes the broker, goes to class, never studies, goes in, passes it. One of those like, But we did. So when it had the opportunity for Your Home Sold, like, we were able to jump right away because he had already had his broker's license. And because we knew it. And RE/MAX, honestly, our RE/MAX, all of them are different, were holding us back because they were telling us that we can only charge this month, or we have to do this with our commission, or that with our commission, or whatever it was. And they wouldn't allow us to do what we wanted to do. And I would just be like, Mark, just go with it. And he's like, this is ridiculous. So anyways, the opportunity to now be around the people that we love, with the business that we love, and now being able to do all the things that I love, and growing our wealth, our business, and everything else takes a lot of time management, and that's what we're really going to get into. So a lot of the things the first thing that you guys got to look at is, first of all, you got to figure out your why and what drives you every single day. It can't be money, guys. It has to be a lot bigger than that. Because when you figure that out and you figure out what your why actually is as an agent, as a team leader, but let's really talk because we've been talking about agents. So when we're talking about real estate agents and we're talking about our why, what we got to look at is what's going to push us to drive us every single day to make what we want in the real estate business, which, guys, working on a team is wonderful because you don't have to take the risk working on a team. You actually can go out there and do what you love doing, and that's selling real estate. You know, it's going out there and working with buyers and sellers and going to closings. But you have to manage your time and figure it out really, really, really well. And to do that, you need to push through your why every single day so that your team leaders are not actually having to take it and tell you every day to push you, but you're driving yourself to meet your why every single day. So what you got to do, number one, is you have to make sure that you have a routine in your daily schedule. You have to make sure that you're working with motivated buyer and sellers and that you have a timeline and you have, so first of all, I think when I was talking to Tracy, this was a few years ago, when you meet with a buyer face to close, how many days is it for you guys? I remember it was like not a lot. Because then I'm like, oh, we don't know that. Theirs is like less than 60, I believe. 35. Yeah, okay, there you go. Ours is 120. Okay? When we meet face to face to go to close, on average, it's 120 days. Because people, so you got to kind of know what your length of time is so you can make sure you are managing and working with motivated buyers and sellers. How do you do that? Well, one of the things you got to do is you got to pre-frame them when you're meeting with them. You got to use only the Craig Proctor system to do your buyer consultations because it works and it's amazing. And then you do bring out guarantees at the end if you need to. You have to, one of the things I'll never forget that we were having a TW for a day, it was in Orlando, and Craig walked in the room, and we were having a problem with, we were really good at getting things signed and everything else, but as soon as we walked away from the buyer appointment, my agents had a really hard time showing them properties and getting them in cars. Do you guys have problems with that? So you get them to want to work with you, but then all of a sudden now you can't get a hold of them, you can't get them out, you can't get them, so you're like, what's going on here? And you know why? Because we were waiting for pre-qualifications from the lender every single time. And Craig's like, why aren't you guys just pre-qualifying them yourselves? You can ask them the questions that our lender does, and if red flags come up, you get them pre-qualified. But a lot of the time, you're going to be able to do and get them going right. And boy, that changed it 100%, guys. So if you're sitting there waiting weeks and weeks for them to go, they're working with somebody else. They're going to go and work with somebody else that will actually do what they want to do, and that's buy a house. Okay? So you've got to figure out the timing and motivation, get it signed, figure out who you're going to work with. But if you're waiting and waiting and waiting, I'll tell you what. So I wasn't able to afford anything for a long time. My credit was shot and everything else. But when I've had to go through this, I make Mark do it, go through lending. It is a nightmare. It is an utter nightmare to have to go through lending. No, I hate it. I don't do it, right? Because I make Mark do it because I'm like, this is so if you're waiting for people, they have to be motivated. You can tell. Can't you tell when you are actually doing a buyer consultation, the one that are really ready, able, and ready to go? Because guess what? 95% of them, where do you think they start in the buying process? Online. They do not start with a pre-approval from a lender. Do you guys know that? So why? Why are you making them go through hoops and hoops and hoops If they're going, and we have a last page. I'm happy to, actually, I think it's on the coaching site that we put together, and it works amazing. That basically pre-qualifies them. It asks them, have you, do you know what, people that have a good credit score usually know what the credit score is, okay? So we ask them very personal questions, and then we decide, are we gonna work with them now, or are they gonna, but it's follow-up. It's finding the people that you can close on now. But it's managing your day, okay? So making sure that, number one, what do you do in the morning? Do you get up every day the same time every day? Okay. Do you have a routine every day? Do you actually look at your emails the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? How many can say, yeah, yeah, I look at my emails. The day runs you, you don't run your day, right? It's horrible that we do that. So we can't, so you got to have a routine every single day. I recommend the Miracle Morning. Who knows the Miracle Morning? Yeah? So in the Miracle Morning, what happens? Who can tell me what happens in the Miracle Morning? You wake up an hour, Bill, thank you. Lifesaver? Yeah. Lifesavers. So you wake up an hour early every day. Now don't get the one for real estate agents. Get the regular Miracle Morning. It's a book. And you get up an hour early every single day. And there's 6 things that you do in your morning to start your day off running. Affirmations, exercise, reading for 10, they're all 10 minutes. Okay? Journal. It gets you clarity and ready for your day. I promise you, if you commit yourself to a routine, and this is the one that I say, you will make a big difference in your time management and how you're going to run your day every single day. So get in that routine. Then we need to make sure that we are basically, that you meditate, affirmations. I'm gonna do it. Real estate, we can be pulled in a million different directions every single day. And we wanna make sure that we are taking over our lives and that we are in control of those people. You know why? Because people are afraid